This is Catanova.
Hello. Hi, my name is Derek, and this is Jose. We just graduated 2 weeks ago, and we're working on. So the fashion industry quietly faces a really big challenge. Kind of as Carly was alluding to earlier, there's so much waste. Over 30% of stuff that's made never actually gets sold, and that costs the industry over $100 billion a year. When I was growing up, my family was building an apparel retailer in Chile. And so I got to see firsthand the costs associated with poor forecasting. Things like overproduction, trying to mark down inventory to sell, and all these things just create a downward spiral for customer expectations and product quality. So the root cause is that brands have to make really critical decisions on what to design, how much to make, how much to price it at, 6 to 18 months before the products hit the shelves because of long lead times that still are persistent in the supply chain for clothing. All while customer preferences change weekly. So traditional merchandising planning is really broken, and they're not able to compete in this agile environment. Designers, merchandisers, and planners want to meet these goals, but our customer discovery shows that there are key challenges blocking them. So they want to do all these things, hit performance targets, create products customers love, and align cross functions and move faster, but they don't have any technology that will allow them to consider all these factors together. They just care about their own performance indicators without being able to meet what the organization needs as a whole. To solve this, we've assembled a team. So as I said, just graduated from the MBA XMS. Before this, I was a CPG founder of an organic blueberry juice company, and I worked as a software engineer and product manager in fintech. And Jose?
My name is Jose. I also was an MBA MS student, dual degree, doing AI machine learning. And I previously worked as a supply chain strategist at Nike. So I was doing a lot of supply chain strategy for the APLA and Asia Pacific area. Also worked at 3 different seed stage and pre-seed startups, and I spent some time in VC. I'm really avid and really excited about streetwear fashion in general. So we're growing pretty quickly. We've already onboarded 2 different engineers, and we've already grown pretty quickly, significantly over the past 4 months, and it's been pretty exciting time for us overall.
So we're building an AI software platform that integrates with the tools that merchandisers, designers, and planners already use, things like PLMs, ERPs, and offers SKU-level demand forecasts, trends, trend prediction, competitive intelligence, and product-level design insights early on in the process, before the products are even made. So imagine that you're a fashion designer and your team is planning on making the shirt for next season. You would come to our platform, upload the sketches, enter some attributes like the color, the fabric, or use AI to fill it. And then we would create this picture for you so that it saves time by creating a digital render instead of waiting for the actual samples to be made by designers. And then we would give the merchandiser recommendations on their own KPIs, the success score for this product, how much they should be making, how they should price it, and product improvements based on their impact to the KPIs.
So overall, we've had really strong industry interest. We've already talked to different customers overall through mid-markets, SMBs, basically throughout different brands like Gani, Totem, like Fjallraven, or even Nike or Under Armour. And they've all said the same thing. They have the exact same problem with merchandising overall. They're overproducing, and they don't necessarily know what to sell. A lot of it goes to outlets. Overall, we've had really good traction just from a lot of the strong industry and early customer discussions. And we've been really excited just to navigate and utilize all of Columbia's resources overall. So doing a lot of the resources like Start Me Up Bootcamp and also Impact Competition. And we're currently going to move into the Startup Lab this summer. So exciting time. So overall, the fashion brand SaaS is growing at a 12% CAGR. We're targeting SMBs initially and going to expand into enterprise market. Our goal is to essentially be the all-in-one inclusive platform for pre-production analytics, where essentially you're able to plug into your ERP and PLM system that'll allow you to get insights from your existing stock or inventory, and then just give you those insights into what specifically you should produce and at what time. So essentially, estimating trends and insights before they even become popular 6 months in advance. And so overall, a lot of competitors really lack these capabilities. A lot of them are focused on like individual tools or sizing or inventory management. We're really targeting it all the way from the creative and design side. So starting really early on in the process, when you have an idea and you want to create a new sneaker, want to create a new shoe, or want to create a new apparel product, we're going to tell you from day one, essentially, what does that look like and what would that look like 6 months after you actually produce it, whether or not it'll sell. So our goal is to create this pre-production suite using a lot of SKU level demand forecasting, a lot of market and competitive intelligence, pre-production insights, and also have the PLM and ERP integration. And so our go-to-market is really focused, like I said before, starting with the SMB brands. Our goal right now is to build traction with a lot of locally based Soho brands, and then ultimately scale up within the next 2 years to be able to hit our $1 million ARR goal by Q3 27. So it's a pretty exciting time. We've already had a couple customer discussions with a couple pilots in Soho, and so we're hoping to launch our beta during the summer in August. So thank you overall. We're located here in New York City, so headquarter based here, and we're trying to build AI pre-production analytics for fashion brands overall. Thank you. Any questions are also open. I think we have 2 minutes for questions. Yeah.
You sort of alluded to sort of a closed garden data source based on past performance for the company. But if it's a new product that they haven't done before, if we haven't done shit before, we want to get into it, how can you provide or access that information because it's proprietary to other people's experience or other companies' experience? How do you sort of aggregate all that and provide that information for someone who wants to?
Yeah, so our initial pilot is using a lot of social media signals and using a lot of social media signals from Instagram, TikTok, and also Pinterest. So our pilot tool, essentially what we have shown in our platform, is really pulling all of that information and signals using AI, time series ML, and a lot of computer vision to be able to estimate and take those computer images and be able to analyze in real time what is trending from top influencers. So that's how we're initially piloting. Ultimately, our goal is once we get essentially traction and be able to get that data source from those different brands, we are able to utilize their historical time series information to then give them more detailed insights to inventory management. But that's long term. We're first starting with a lot of trend and insights. Yeah.
I know like Zara has always been like this just-in-time player. Like, have you guys done a lot of research on what they're doing and how this like might be different or?
Yeah, so Zara is a bit different. They make a lot of different products in small batches to kind of see what sticks, right? They do have a lot of data infrastructure that will allow them to know what customers are liking in the stores, get feedback on how to improve their designs. But we are building the solution for the companies that don't have those huge data science teams, right?
Thank you.
Next, we have Rubicon Robotics.
Hey everyone, thank you all for being here. Thanks for having me. My name is Avery Schoenberger, and I'm really excited to be sharing with you my venture Rubicon Robotics, where we are automating the future of athletic film study. So the first problem that we're addressing is that swim film and analytics cost way too much time and money for most organizations. Swimming is a very technique-focused sport, so any film that you get of your form underwater is really critical for, in the end, winning. Right now, most of that film is acquired manually or with really cost-prohibitive or subpar methods of getting that film so that you can win better. In addition to the difficulty of actually filming, film sharing is really disorganized through a lot of different mediums for coaches and clinics. The analysis on the video is really time consuming because a coach has to watch as much video as they film for all of their athletes. And finally, college recruiting for top athletes is really time intensive for coaches who have to travel all over the country and meet with swimmers and see how they actually perform in real life. So our solution to this is to acquire film using autonomous robots and analyze it using custom AI software. So our SwimmerBot technology tracks swimmers fully autonomously, uploads the film to our platform online immediately after practice, allows for computer vision analytics to help the coaches, and also has other integrated coaching tools that helps with recruiting and other network sharing capabilities. Our product, again, is designed to work with the coaches, not replace them. So everything we do is meant to integrate seamlessly into a user's practice. Looking at what the hardware actually looks like, because it's very new stuff that we're designing in-house, the robot sits on the side of the pool, drives physically back and forth, following the swimmer. We have an arm that reaches 12 to 15 inches under the water with a camera mounted on the end to get that perfect side view angle that is most helpful for swimmers. We have some computer vision based steering as well. And of course, sensors to make sure we don't hit anything or anyone on the pool deck. And of course, some other bells and whistles to make a seamless user experience for everyone. The market for this also is surprisingly enormous, with just US-based business opportunity reaching over $4.5 billion among 5 market segments. Our early customers, however, are really kind of looking to fall into these 2 segments where we're in communication with a lot of swim team coaches and some private clinics and swim schools who are interested as well. Looking at what else is out there, again, there's a lot of stuff out there. A lot of it is manual or subpar. A lot of these tools that you see are indirectly competitive. So of the stuff that directly competes with film study, every single problem that they have, we can easily overcome with our automation and software technology. We're monetizing this through sales of the hardware, but also leases of the hardware because some of our customer segments have different financial needs for their businesses. And of course, we are selling software subscriptions for our analytics package as well. Through this year, we have built our product. We've actually gotten in the water, tested it with some D1 swimmers. That's actually me, not a D1 swimmer. And we've also gotten incredible feedback and some requests too. We're in conversations with a large-ish swim school that has 50 locations around the country. We're getting a demo ready for them in the next few weeks. And also some other schools and programs who are interested. Right now, our biggest challenge is keeping up with how many people want our stuff right now. Again, to reintroduce myself, my name is Avery Schoenberger. I have an engineering background. I actually just graduated with my MBA last year, so the past year has been an absolute ride in all the best ways possible. I have an awesome product team behind me with experience at NASA, Adobe, some research labs, and of course, we could not have been to where we are now without Coach Jim Bolser, who has 35 years of D1 swimming under his belt. We are raising $650,000 right now as a seed round to get us through 3 milestones. Our soft launch, this is actually what's coming up in a few weeks as a typo left over from a previous milestone. That should say June. So getting our launch through the summer, bringing 500 users on by the end of the summer, which we are actually on track to exceed. And getting 50 bots in use by the end of this fall season 2025. So if you're interested in joining on, this is an awesome opportunity. Please let me know. Happy to chat. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, happy to answer them now or after the session. Yeah.
What other sporting or other applications can this technology be used for?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Our next sports, we have our computer vision eye, pun intended, set on golf and running, actually, because the way that our software is constructed makes that a really, really easy transition. After that, there are other applications in some more mainstream sports, but that's probably for us a couple years away.
You talked a fair bit about the hardware,
Yeah.
but in your opening, you also talked about AI analysis tools. So how are those structured? What are you ultimately presenting to the coach in terms of product?
Thank you for letting me talk about this right now. So we have a computer vision algorithm that we actually made that can look at the video, and from the video, using only our software, calculate up to 44 different metrics for that athlete's race, some of which we actually created ourselves with Coach Bolster's help, because our hardware allows us to calculate those metrics that would otherwise be impossible to calculate. And then from that, we have another analytics software that can break down those metrics and report to the athlete exactly what percentage of their overall time is dependent on each of those metrics. So we can point out to them exactly what drills they should be doing to maximize their improvement during practice.
It actually generates a drill.
Yes.
A drill.
Yeah. That's something we're still building, but that is what we'll have in a few months.
We have one more pitch to get to. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Avery. There's no formal session after this, so we will all hang out here. I know we're going to run a little bit over, but next I want to introduce Maggie from Sumley.
Okay, crack the neck. I'm the last one. Shake it off. If you need to stand up to keep awake, sit back down. We're going to talk taxes here. Hi, I'm Maggie Hennigan. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sumley. We're AI-powered financial management for solopreneurs. Awesome. So there's an incredible shift happening in the US labor force right now from traditional employment to self-employment. We're a mighty crew. I myself was self-employed when I left Deloitte to start my own independent consulting firm. There are 17 million of us. Over 6 million of us are earning over 100K, and our income year over year is growing at 3x what a traditional employee is. But despite this massive growth, there's a critical gap in the tax and financial planning software and solutions for the self-employed. If you're a W-2 employee, great. Go use TurboTax. That's incredibly automated and it will work for you. However, TurboTax tries to shove in 1099s, and all of a sudden that process becomes incredibly DIY, manual, and you actually lose out on income because of tax overpayment. Now, if you're a C Corp, great. Go hire that expensive CPA and use an accounting firm. However, that's not what the self-employed need. We sit here in the middle as people who are sole proprietors, single-person LLCs, and S Corps, and we don't have a good solution. So that's why I built Sumley. It's the one-stop shop for solopreneurs to confidently manage their business and personal finances in one. We launched with AI-enabled expense tracking, tax filing, and financial planning. So let's make this real. Ben is an independent copywriter and content marketer. Before Sumley, he was DIYing with TurboTax and QuickBooks, and he found me on LinkedIn. He'd already done it with TurboTax, and he was about to send a check for $3,000 to the IRS. Hold on, let me take a look. With Sumley's expense tracking and deduction detection technology, he actually went from owing $3,000 to getting over $3,000 back. We're also backdating an S-Corp conversion for him for over $15,000 in savings. Ben says he's a customer for life, which means I can't give up because I plan to outlive him. Awesome. So what's actually different about Sumley? Most of our customers are running their business out of their personal checking account. So we actually look at both the business and personal financial transactions to identify the max amount of savings for them. We save our average user over $2,000, and our AI automations make us incredibly accurate, but also affordable. Awesome. So we're up there alone, of course, because we're business and personal finances, and we're actually building this AI powered from the ground up. This is an incredible market, business model. We're software as a subscription. We're targeting $50 a month for most of our customers. This is an incredibly large market. What I'm really focused on is capturing 300,000 individuals like myself who are independent consultants and freelancers at $600 a year for $180 million in revenue that I know Sumley will shortly be capturing. Our total addressable market is over $175 billion. Our go-to-market is 2 phases. First is about partnerships with agencies, industry-specific groups, and software channel partnerships with Honeybook, for example, that does proposals for this segment. Phase 2, we're actually going to build out an embedded fintech platform targeting financial institutions. In speaking with them, they see a clear value prop with Sumly in terms of attracting and retaining this growing segment. The largest single deposit into most bank accounts is your tax refund, so there's an opportunity there, and unlocking additional revenue streams. Awesome. I'm just going to talk about my amazing co-founder, Maximo. I actually met him here last year at a pitch mixer event. He graduated with me just a couple weeks ago. He had an incredible offer from AWS and an even better one to lead AI at a startup here in the city. But he believes in Sumly, and together we will be at the Columbia Startup Lab in 2 weeks. Awesome. So we launched our MVP in February to take advantage of this 2024 tax filing season. We had 40 customers, average savings of over $2,000, and we processed, enriched, and classified over 40,000 transactions, which is what we're training our AI model on. We also received an incredible investment from the Lang Fund, which will be the kickoff to our raise later this summer. Okay, so if you're at all interested in making self-employment more profitable and less stressful for millions of Americans, or fundamentally changing the economics around bookkeeping and tax filing, please use the QR code here to connect with me, or at least check out the website at getsumly.com. Thank you. I'm running away from you all. You ask tough questions. Oh, you want to get out of here. I get it.
Is your office here in the city?
I'll be at the Columbia Startup Lab in 2 weeks. I just graduated, so yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For your phase 1 launch, how are you thinking about enticing those partners or partnerships?
Yeah, for them, it's actually really, I talked to a lot of them. They actually bear a little bit of risk where their, contractors essentially come to them and have not saved 30% of their income throughout the year. And I actually talked to, partner agencies who have given loans to some of the contractors they work with and see a real risk to their business of people who just haven't done financial management throughout the year. And so for them, we say, don't let yourself get into this position where you could be considered an employer. We help you maintain that barrier of their contractor and kind of reduce your risk and offer a great service for the contractors you work with.
How do you work with blended households if you have a W-2 and 1099? How does that work on the personal?
Yeah, about half my customers were that. Honestly, the W-2 is really easy. So they're just the higher margin part of the business. We'll always serve them, but it's just not who the target is. And quite frankly, if you're just a W-2 household, as I said, please go use TurboTax. Yeah.
What keeps you up at night about starting your new startup?
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, it is truly the impact. So my initial ICP is the white collar self-employed professional. And with AI, I do wonder, what is the impact? I hear statistics, 20 to 30% of white collar jobs are going away. I hope that actually works in my favor, that businesses realize that they can hire contractors and freelancers to get this work done and kind of augment it with AI. So I think it could be a real positive. But I think it also could be a real negative that this workforce, which has been growing, will actually start to shrink. So that is what keeps me up.
Thank you, Maggie. I think we are at time. We need to wrap it up. Thank you so much.